Greetings, netizens of YouTube. It has come to my attention that there have been some serious conflict within Gamergate in recent weeks. Covering this was my original intent, but events transpired over the past 2 weeks that frankly turned my stomach, and I'm not easily offended. Fair warning, there will be some distressing footage in this video, and no, this isn't a joke. If you are a normal functioning human being capable of empathy, I highly doubt you will find it amusing.
Alright. Mind control techniques do a lot of damage to people. And the mind control techniques they used on me, basically, were to make me feel like everyone was coming after me. To make me feel like I couldn't trust anybody. To make me doubt the reality that I'm in. And
before I describe events leading to a man's very public breakdown, we need context. Gamergate has arguably been losing steam for some months. The hashtag is undergoing a steady decline. Following the SPJ Airplay event, in some circles there have been further attempts to police viewpoints. Others have increasingly complained of marginalisation and of censorship on the most popular Gamergate forums such as the subreddit Kotaku in Action and Twitter. In recent months, a group within Gamergate based on an 8chan message board, ggrevolt, has gained traction. They claim that the most visible part of Gamergate, represented by popular e-celebs and on Kotaku in Action, are attempting to push the movement into an ethics-only approach, and that many of these who express concerns about journalist ethics couldn't care less. Rather, they are doing window dressing and actually want to silence dissent within the ranks of the movement. They label those they oppose as ethics cucks. Enter Game Diviner, or Paolo, a YouTuber who was lionized by many in Gamergate for speaking out at the SPJ event in mid-August. Since then, his reputation and influence has grown. He has made a number of videos, became admin in 2 Facebook groups, and participated in discussions on the future of the movement. He seemed like a conviction gamer who was yet carrying an increasingly moderate message. Watching the SPJ event, I immediately recognized him from YouTube, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna lecture Koretsky or talk about SJWs, and it could get messy. Instead, he spoke of how Gorka destroys lives, and how people in Gamergate are anonymous because they are scared of being put in danger. But what sealed the deal was when he passionately stated that he believed gamers being good people who have been mislabeled. Paolo had a way of making quite extreme or borderline paranoid points and then seemingly checking himself, making a statement that every single person in Gamergate could agree with. All of a sudden, Paolo emerged as a moderate face of Gamergate. Not belonging to a clique, his Lone Range status within the movement was enhanced. Not a senior member of Gamergate perhaps, but he became the everyman. On the crest of a wave of popularity, Paolo, receiving encouragement from others within Gamergate, apparently decided that it was time to look beyond Gamergate and to reclaim the gamer identity. He approached a YouTuber called QQ. They bounced some ideas around, and QQ was tasked with writing up a document based on what they had discussed. In the meantime, Paolo approached a number of influential members of Gamergate, including YouTube content creators, summarizing their ideas. According to Paolo, Sargon, Milo, Oliver Campbell, Mark Seb, Mark Kern, and many others voiced some interest in his idea. These discussions were kept quiet. Once the document was completed, it was confidentially released to a select group including the Ralph Retort and Netscape 9, who decided to make it public on September the 15th against Paolo's wishes. It was called Gamergate Pros, a guide to ending Gamergate. The document advocated dissolving the Gamergate identity and admitting its failures, condemned the cliques and the identity politics, conceded that harassment had taken place, and criticised aspects of the hive mind mentality. In essence, Gamergaters should return to the online communities they hailed from and take what they had learned to impact change in those communities. As always, there is a link to the document in the low bar. And so an unholy shitstorm began. Anger, betrayal, accusations and counter-accusations. Some speculated this was an SJW plot. Others wondered aloud about an alleged coup attempt of Gamergate by the ethics cucks with the support of the e-celebs, or by ggrevolt to discredit the ethics cucks. QQ tried to disassociate himself with the document he wrote, saying he only agreed with some of it and claiming it was some kind of troll to see the reaction. He stated he didn't like what Paolo was doing but agreed to produce the document anyway. In fact, QQ appeared on various streams laughing it up in an attempt to persuade everybody how he had trolled Gamergate and Paolo, thus implying that Paolo was the only guilty party supporting the document. Jan culture ensured that others laughed along with the troll stance, even if many had their doubts. Thus, there was implicit agreement that Paolo should take the blame. If people took the document seriously, Paolo was the target of their rage. If people thought it was a joke, Paolo was the target of their laughter.
The reason why I realized I was the victim of a troll, I really was. All the different people I was sent around to are all part of the plot. The people who started it, the people who were pulling me into streams, the people who were suggesting things to me, the people who were playing to my ego, to my religious sensibilities. You were pulling me in different directions, pretending to be different people, when you were all actually in it, all in together in one big game. I'm actually the butt of a universal joke.
He should take the hit for the sake of Gamergate unity. That was never something considered by anybody. It was all his idea. He was hastily scapegoated and thrown under the bus by many of the characters concerned. Under pressure, Paolo also attempted to backpedal and explain why he had not revealed his consultations with e-celebs on the subject or made QQ's document public immediately. Those that didn't condemn Paolo instead treated him like a leper, distancing themselves from him, as they knew that their own popularity could take a hit.
One of the interesting things I saw too, which made me start getting really paranoid, is that whenever I'm on social media, I'd usually get about 100 or so. I'd start to get 100 or so favorites and retweets, right? When people started turning against me, or at least they wanted to make everyone feel like they're turning against you. That dropped to almost zero in that time, and that plays and fucks around with your mind, guys. It's an easy game. It's an easy game to play if you think about it. Think about all these different things that they do. It's an easy game to play. So that feeds into someone's paranoia.
At the same time, Paolo was up night after night trying to defend or explain his position to the dozens of people attacking him on multiple platforms. This cyberbullying continued for 7 days before Paolo made the final video. He has now quit the internet and is undergoing professional treatment. Right, I'm going to spell it out, and some of you are not going to appreciate my sanctimonious tone, but I can assure you it is genuine. This is a guy who has spent a lot of time online not only slating SJWs and social justice. He's also somebody I've had vigorous disagreements with in the past, who seemed like something of a zealot when discussing the issues. Generally speaking, I take a dim view of those so deeply invested in a position you can't get through to them. But I couldn't care less that we disagreed completely. I don't care that he's religious, and I'm not. I don't care that he supports Gamergate, and I don't. I don't even care that he shook the hand of Glenn Beck at a Tea Party convention. This is a man that has been humiliated, bullied, and ostracized from a group who is at the end of his tether. He is Gamergate's sacrificial lamb, offered up to maintain the impression of unity. The normal empathetic human response, in my opinion, is to feel concern and fear for his well-being. And to their credit, some in Gamergate have reacted this way, but many seem happy to munch popcorn, or turn away whilst he gets thrown under the bus and is attacked.
Alright, what's going on is that my brain has been really played with really hard on social media. And even though, what I'm choosing to believe is that there are a bunch of kids out there just having fun and messing around on the internet, damage is real. And I am able to keep it enough together to let you guys know that this really messes with your mind. I wrote a little something on the bottom to show you how my mind was starting to unravel. I want to say that to those who did this to me, I love you and I forgive you.
And this is despite the fact that almost everybody within Gamergate will say that Paolo is a good guy and has the best intentions of gamers at heart. But isn't it true that some of those that pushed Paolo over the edge or distanced themselves knew him and were aware of his fragility?
There are people who saw me going into that paranoid state when I just started, when I wasn't even tweeting and I was DMing everybody and sending them links like it was a war zone going on and telling them this is how you fight all this brigading.
What kind of people do that? Is this the way you treat your own?
What's holding me together right now is that my son is under my desk. I'm holding his hand, so at least I have a sense of something that's real, something that existed before all of this. Because my mind started thinking, like, maybe it's all fake. But there are people playing around with high-level tactics of mental manipulation. Okay, I need to slow down breathing. Okay.
Can any of you remember the time that your mother or father clinged to your hand like that? Can you remember the feeling of dread and fear, the way a shadow was cast on your world when he or she felt that way? Can you remember wishing he would be happy, how you knew that you were the most important thing in his world, and yet you were still powerless to affect him? Some of you might have expected me to have focused specifically on the question of harassment. This has been something of a dilemma, as by some definitions this is harassment, by others I don't have enough to show harassment, although it may well have taken place. What I am certain of is that Paolo has been a victim of cyberbullying, and I'm absolutely convinced that the stress that Paolo has gone through matches any case of harassment. Moreover, we can clearly see the impact upon him here. In my opinion, the impact upon the individual is the most important element. There are two other reasons why I'm covering this story. Much of the information is being airbrushed from history. Tweets have been deleted, live streams have been deleted, Facebook posts have been removed. Equally worrying is that no larger or medium-sized Gamergate YouTuber will cover the topic of Paolo's victimization. Doubtless those YouTube channels that have profited from Gamergate drama over the preceding months have no appetite to lay out some home truths. Oh sure, videos about the latest burning issue, cyber violence, are there by the 100, but self-reflection doesn't fit the narrative. Happily though, I'm not alone. Credit to a Gamergate supporting YouTuber called James Desborough, who unequivocally condemned Paolo's harassment as he saw it. I will leave a link in the low bar. Since making this video, Gamer Diviner has taken down his original video. He states that anybody can rebroadcast his video either in full or in part. If Gamer Diviner contacts me and asks for me to take this video down, I will do so. But if any of his friends see this, I'd ask them to think carefully before contacting him. I would not like to play any kind of role in causing a relapse. To be frank, the idea sickens me. Although it doesn't sicken me half as much as the idea of being part of the bullying campaign against him, or to allow this topic to be forgotten or swept under the carpet.
I mean, how easy would it be to pull his heartstrings? A lonely man living in his house with his mother, who had just broken up with his girlfriend. Anybody of any sense who's playing this game of hearts will know how easy it is to pull a man who loves a girl in England, who can't afford to fly to see her. How easy would it be to pull that one as a troll, just to get him to get mad at everybody at every moment, when all he wants to do is that he believes he's doing the right thing. For Gamergate, for gamers, for the future. I'm gonna check myself in mentally. I just gotta take time to heal. Take care.